Hello, YouTube. It's me, John Avenger, once again, and welcome to another live commentary, the first one for the month of March. This time we're tackling the trilogy of Jack Hunter movies. Yeah, this is the first one, Jack Hunter and the Lost Treasure of Ugarit from 2008. This film's about 98 minutes, so it's short, so let's get to it. I saw this on 2B, I think, last year in 2021, because I wanted to see different movies, you know. Ivan Sergey, he's pretty good in the role. Joan M. Kelly, yeah, she's a Canadian actress. There's the title, Jack Hunter and the Lost Treasure of Ugarit. The first of 3 films. But we're only doing the first one today. We'll do the sequels later. They're in France. Susan Ward. The Root Private Museum. I started early because I got up at like 8 o'clock, but I didn't want to do the podcast that early. So I'm like, nah, 9 o'clock is good enough. I'm not starting the podcast like when I started Ultimate Avengers 2, I did it like almost 3. Because again, I got here late. I'm not going out today, so I do this early. This film is a lot longer than the Ultimate Avengers movies I did a couple days ago. Those are like an hour and 7 minutes. This is an hour and 90. I mean, an hour 90, an hour and 30 some minutes. And this time without ads, because I saw these on 2B and there were ads. There's no ads here. DVDs and Blu-rays don't have ads. Once they start, they're uninterrupted. Mm-hmm. A digital picture of the... Because the new Indiana Jones doesn't come out till the end of June, so I got plenty of time to do podcasts for them. I'll do them probably in May. Because Dial of Destiny is not till June 30th. That's a long time from now. And I didn't want to do them in the winter. The winter's too long. It's way too long. These are fine. There's only 3 of these, not 4, and a TV show from the 90s. And these are TV movies. They're not meant to be taken seriously like a theatrical release, whether it's mainstream or a limited release. Mm-hmm. So I try to do franchises or movie series that are short. I don't want to do 7 movies. Like last year, I did all the Sharknado sequels. That was 5 of them. It's a lot. This is only 3. I want to keep it to the maximum of 3, maybe 4, but that's it though. That's why I don't do a lot of slasher films because there's so many of them. Excuse me. Like Halloween, it was just like 6 films when they came out from the 70s to the 90s. Now there's like 18 of them since the last trilogy. Mike, Terry Cunningham directed this. Now we're in Syria. Mm-hmm. An Arabic country. This is why Roman Blanchard is so beautiful because she's part Arabic. So- Look at that face. And the actors are a lot better than they get credit for. Yeah, I wouldn't be caught dead in a country like that. It's way too hot, and they're very racist over there. Even with my tan skin, I would stick out like a sore thumb in any of those Middle Eastern countries. Syria, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Afghanistan. Yeah, I would stick out like a sore thumb. This is the main villain of the trilogy. Good shots. Yeah, there's some really dated CGI, but again, it was 15 years ago. Hmm. Yeah, there's some blonde-looking wannabe Patrick Swayze-looking guy. He has beautiful curly hair. Of course, she's supposed to be playing like an Arab, but she's so light skinned. I would only buy her as one if she was like Lebanese or something, like Shannon Elizabeth. Oh, trust me, I would never go there. Like I said, I'm not. I don't want to be in a racist country. We have enough of that here in the states. Hold on, no one's in the chat, so I'll just throw this apple away. I ate some of it. Yeah, because the chat thought they probably were gonna, Little Sim probably thought I was gonna do this podcast at 11 or 12. No, I wanted to do it early because there's 3 of these films, and I don't want to do them all at once because there's. Excuse me. Mm-hmm. For their greedy purposes, they have to kill a bunch of Arabs, detonating, all in the name of greed. I could do the second movie tomorrow because I'm not going anywhere because it's going to rain most of this weekend. Because I already reviewed all these films, so I wanted to do a podcast for them. Now we're in Los Angeles, California. A laser pointer, I haven't seen those in a while because they're not allowed in most arenas because they're distracting. They're like air horns when they go, they usually don't bring them at a game because they're really annoying. They're loud. She's short. Hmm, I've heard that. You got a tablet, and no, not an electrical tablet, a actual stone tablet, which people used to use for to read hieroglyphics and such. They're from ancient civilizations. Now you say tablet, people think an iPad or something like that. Hmm, interesting. Yep. Who has a lesbian haircut, but it is what it is. It was 2008. Elu. Mm-hmm. Hmm. There's no one in the chat, so I'll just check my email first. There we go. Blow my nose. Yeah, I like this. Learning about history of another culture. Florida. Yeah. Because National Treasure, I thought was just too long. Those movies are over 2 hours and don't need to be that long. An hour and 35 minutes is good enough. Because after Indiana Jones, I'm like, we don't need every treasure hunting movie to be 2 hours. Yeah, I did. You can't live in the past. You got to move forward. Hmm. Hmm. I do like Ivan's voice. It's very manly. Because somebody's watching now. There it is. Kissing scene. You can't do this or you won't do this. Hmm. I can't do this really. If that was James Bond, she would have been better already. Because his real girl is Joanne M. Kelly, who's in all three films. Yep. Of course, his friend has to die. There has to be a motivation to go to Syria now. Hmm. Nope, he's gone. Yeah, even Uncharted was almost 2 hours, but it was not that long. Yep, there's blood on the map. Yeah, I bought these movies after watching them on 2B like about a year or two ago. That's traumatizing for him. Hmm, interesting. Yeah, he's good already. You go. Yeah, he lost a good friend. That's always hard. I lost a couple of my friends in the last decade, in the last 2 decades. Hmm. Hmm. Damascus. Yep, Syria once again. There's this hat, a fedora. Yeah, it's pretty clean for an Arabic country. There's the cab driver. Numbers. No, no way she was born in Syria. She would have been much darker. Unless it was Shannon Elizabeth or, like I said, Roman Blanchard. They're actually Arabic descent. People don't know that, but I do my research. They're Syrian and Lebanese descent, mostly. She has beautiful hair. I would love to touch it. Hmm. She has a nice, soothing voice. Everybody else is dark skinned, and yet she's light skinned. I like watching all kinds of films, guys. Plus, this guy has a personality. We're almost 30 minutes in. It's pretty fast paced. It doesn't take an hour for something to happen. Are those locusts or bats? I don't know. There's some product placement. You got Coca Cola in Syria. You could tell that's not really Syria because they have people that are white. There are no Syrians that are white. White? No. Light skin? Maybe. That's like a marketplace, like in Aladdin. Yeah. It's a good looking place for the at that time. The Old People Syrian Charity Center. So they got bottles. Because after seeing Black Adam, which is also in a Middle Eastern country, wanted to see something a little bit shorter than that. I'll eventually get that movie and do a podcast for it, but I gotta wait because Shazam is in 2 weeks and I'm seeing it in the theater. I already got my ticket, so some of them are. Some of them are friendly. Some of them will cut your hand off if they don't like your fate. They'll cut your hand off if you steal something. Have you seen Aladdin? I don't know. I know Agrabah was a fictional Middle Eastern country, but trust me, some of these people are not as friendly as you think. If they become Americanized or Canadian or they live in Canada, they're usually very friendly. But over there in some of those countries, ooh, see, they have swords. That's like a machete. It's not like a little dagger. It's like a freaking sword, a Arabian sword. Yep, through the table. We're we're it's almost going to be 11 o'clock. Dun dun. Musical score is pretty good. Yeah, the townspeople are not noticing a bunch of white people in Syria are running away from Arabic bandits. Well, it's a movie. I can suspend my disbelief. That's why with Jumanji, I only did the first one because I don't have the two sequels. Because I'm going to see Shazam 2 to laugh my ass off, just like I did with the first one. Because Zachary Levi was so charming in the first one. And this one, he's going to have way more screen time. Because they don't have to do the origin again. We don't have to see Billy as a kid. We don't have to see the him meeting the family. This one, they're going to jump right back to where it left off at the end of the first movie. Mm-hmm. And this will make up for Black Adam bombing at the box office because with The Rock, he had so much investment in this character, yet they didn't give him they didn't give him an accent, but they rushed it. You know, that's what happened. They really should have just put Black Adam as a villain in a Shazam movie. That would have made way more sense. I'll say this: she's way more appealing than Amelia Clark. She has a nice face, and no accent, which is great because I saw I saw so many movies. Yeah, there was a wedding. So that's funny. They crashed the wedding. They broke the cake. At least they didn't ruin the entire wedding. It's a fun chase sequence. Nothing spectacular here. It's nothing that's going to win awards, but for fun, for a three films TV miniseries, that's what it is. I couldn't see all three. It would be like 5 hours of a podcast. No, one and a half, an hour and a half is good enough. I don't need three parts in one day. I'm glad I got this on Blu-ray because it was $1 and it was in good condition too. So exactly. Yeah, he looks like my uncle Sergio. He has beautiful dark hair, like Gal. Uber. Now they're past Lebanon. That's another country, by the way. Hama. There's a place called Hims, like HIMS, like him or hers. Yeah, look at that face. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, the weather's been just really weird this week. No snow, just a lot of wet rain in spring, and it's not spring yet. I don't get it. Why it didn't snow like at least a foot? That would have been good enough. She does this thing with her lips, like you know, she has that shock look on her face. See, I like all kinds of women, guys, regardless of their place of origin, because I know they're like, oh, you don't like this girl because she's British. Again, give me a freaking chance to see what she can do. Hmm. My pants. I've never seen Anna Taylor Joy in a film yet. Let me see her in the Mario movie, and then I'll make my judgments. I just have to hear her voice. That's it. It's not going to take much. Plus, the movie's 92 minutes. This is not one of her 2 hour movies like Last Night in Soho or whatever. That's long, and she's not even the lead in that. Thomason is. She's the figment of her imagination or something. I don't know. I didn't see it, but no one did. It bombed at the box office. Mario's going to do really well because it's an established property that kids can go see without having to worry about it being violent or overly sexual or gay. No, it's going to be kid friendly, and it's a PG movie, not an R or PG-13. So that's going to help its box office because there hasn't been a kids movie this year. This year there haven't been any kids movies in the theater. That's a first. Usually Disney will pump out at least one movie in the theater. That's for kids or DreamWorks or something. But no, their movies are not coming out to the second half of the year, like Elemental. But I don't know if it's a kids movie. Hmm. He died pretty early in the film. There's the villain again. Discount Patrick Swayze because Swayze died a year after this movie came out. That's why he couldn't play the character. So tired. I got up early to. The music is not so bad. Hmm. He was murdered. Hmm. It wasn't natural causes. Wow, that's what you're gonna say. Wow, this is terrible, Muse. This guy's emotionless. That's a problem. I know villains are supposed to be cold, but show some emotion, fella. Hmm. A flashback, because yeah, I've seen so many of those this year so far. They're hug and then blowy. Hmm. The chat's completely dead, but that's fine. I could have shut it off and it would have been the same thing. Because Little Sims can't join all of my podcasts, and that's fine. Because sometimes I don't want to answer questions because it's not a Q&A. It's a live commentary. I talk, you listen. That's how it goes. If every commentary had a Q&A, I'm like, yeah, that's not a commentary again. That's more of a seminar than a commentary, if you ask me. Yep. Surprise, bitch. Haha. He hit him with a bottle. Yeah, the CG is only the only thing in this movie I can't defend because it's like really, really dated. I mean, it's from 15 years ago. Of course, it's going to be dated. I don't think the film needed CG. It's not Mummy Returns awful, but again, it's pretty close because it's a TV movie budget, so it's not going to have state of the art CG like a Marvel movie. Wow, you missed. You missed. Yep, he broke the glass door. That's why I don't like glass doors because they can break so easily. I prefer wooden doors or steel doors, not glass. Because I once broke a glass door when I was 11 years old. I broke a glass door and and it shattered into a million pieces. It cut my leg. Luckily, I didn't suffer any major damage. That's why I don't like glass doors, guys. Don't like them. Windows are supposed to be glass, but doors, no. I prefer the one that made of wood. Hmm. We're about halfway through the movie already. We're about 45 minutes in. She really is a beautiful woman. And since this is International Women's Month, even though I'm doing my part next week when I see Mean Girls for International Women's Day, I think it's like the 8th. So that's a week from now, about a week. I'll see it if I have the time. So there's a gas station there. Of course, you know how much oil they have over there in those Arabic countries. Mm, natural, beautiful body. Mm, you get to see her belly button. Hmm. Not in these kinds of films of Ugarit, yeah. And also, this DVD works because when I saw the movie on streaming, it had some frame rate issues, mainly because I think the weather was bad or something. Because that's what happens when you see it on 2B or Crackle or something like that. It's the frame rates, like skip a little bit, but it's because of the streaming services I'm using, the Wi-Fi. Here, it's working fine. That's why I prefer physical media over streaming sometimes because the frame rates are not gonna go crazy or shut off because or buffer. I hate when you see that circle buffering circle. I can't stand that. Hmm. Yes, he does sleep. Look, watch your back. Hmm. Another Arabic bandit. Hey, Josh, you just made it. We're about halfway through the film. Little Sims never showed up, but that's fine. I wanted to do it early so he could still be asleep because where he lives is probably like 8 o'clock in the morning. And I did enjoy the pilot of True Lies. It's not as good as the movie, but I'm like, it's not supposed to be the film. It's different actors with different inflections, do in a different plot. It's not the same thing. It's not a remake of that remake because True Lies is a remake of a French film. James Cameron produced the show, and it has a lot of merit. Ginger Gonzaga is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, and I do like the main guy. I like him. He's different from Arnold, and he has no accent, so it's easy to understand him. And also, it's not 2.5 hours. Each episode is about 45 minutes, so it was lean. And after watching all these boring ass shows on the CW where there's barely any action, at least this had some action for the pilot. Yeah, the same nightmare. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. The point, the Indiana Jones point. Yeah, it's like Jacques, start the engine. Yeah, except this is about an hour into the movie. He said, Jock, start the engine in like the first 20 minutes. What's up? A nice rewatch of Jack Hunter and Lost Ugarit. Yeah, I wanted to rewatch it. It's been a while, and this time I'm watching the physical copy instead of the digital copy on streaming because it's a lot easier. There's no ads. It'll finish faster. You notice they have a lot of semi-automatic weapons. Yeah, they don't have no pistols. These are semi-automatic weapons, so they can get multiple rounds in. It's like a Call of Duty game or Halo or something like that. Thankfully, the movie's short because I saw so many movies last year that were way too long. And at least there's only three main characters and not 15. Because with Eternals, they didn't need that many characters. You need a healthy amount of characters, but you don't need too many. Watching movies on physical over streaming, yeah, because in streaming, if the Wi-Fi goes out, you can't watch it. Physical media, you can still watch it even if the Wi-Fi is down. And trust me, I had to do that a lot in the last decade. Even in this decade, in 2020, when there was a tropical storm, I didn't have electricity. I had to watch a wrestling pay-per-view on DVD. It's an easy way to watch stuff without worrying about buffering and ads and interruptions. Those just waste time. Because across the Spider Verse and Dead Reckoning Part One, they're going to end the cliffhanger like this, which next chapter is coming next year. So if people complain, oh, they shouldn't have had a cliffhanger, it's a part one of a two-parter. So you got to expect that. You're not going to get a full story here. You're going to get half the story. That's the thing about putting things in parts. Yellow, yellow. I don't know. I don't know what he said. No, he's okay. Don't worry. He doesn't get killed off in this first part because this is a first of a three-parter, so that's even longer than a two-parter. Because yeah, people don't know what part one means. Part one means I have to come back next year to see the next part. Yes, for Dead Reckoning and Across the Spider Verse, it's not a one-off. It's a two-parter. So if you go to the theater and see it, I'm like, man, I wanted it to go on for another hour. I'm like, you gotta wait. It's just like a TV show. You gotta just wait for the next chapter. Little bosoms. That's why he's the villain. At least the chat was more civil today because it was quiet. That tablet looks like the Wii Fit. The Wii Fit board. I haven't used it in a while. I got to use it later tonight. I don't know. You're not a great actor. I'll tell you that much. Patrick Swayze was way better than you. He can emote. This guy just talks all of his dialogue like this. Tell me. And a boring ass actor too. Yeah. Gorgeous hair. I would just stroke the hair. Yeah. Hair, touching hair is When I do some research on how long Spider Verse Part One is going to be, I found that it's going to be an hour and 55. That's fine. It's a little longer than the first one. As long as it's not 2.5 hours, I'll live because it can't be. There's going to be another part. So Miles is probably going to jump through a wormhole, or someone will get kidnapped, and then boom, it's over. I'm like, yeah, it's got. I kind of saw that coming. I saw Dune Part One, where it's like this is just the beginning, boom, and it's over. I'm like, man, I wanted to see the next part. That's what I like about things being in parts. That happened with Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, The Hobbit, Hunger Games, Twilight, even Infinity War was not. People like, wait a minute, everybody's dead. What does that mean? Oh, the next there's another part, people, and it was worth the wait. Quantumania is not the last Ant-Man movie. There'll be another one probably. That's why I'm not broken up about it. I'm glad it's making money. It's slowly getting to the half a billion mark, which it probably will. You bastard! Yep, that's the line that Josh loves so much in the Suicide Squad. Now the Indiana Jones movies are self-contained. They're like one individual story. Because Raiders is the first one that came out, but Temple of Doom is a prequel, so it's not the continuation. It's from before that, and then Last Crusade is the continuation. But you can see them as individual films. But when things are in parts, it's hard to get invested sometimes because you know the next part's going to come next year. Yeah, because two parters, yeah, an hour and 55 is fine. That's long, but it's not 2.5 hours. Or in the case of like the Batman or the Snyder Cut, it's not 3 hours or 4 hours long. Yeah, you don't need to be that long, guys. That's why long movies over 2 hours need an intermission or some kind of like a break, a 5 minute break just to stretch our legs. Because movies used to have that. Now they don't. And I'm like, please do this again. How am I supposed to see Way of Water for 3 hours and 1 minute without going to the bathroom? That's almost impossible, guys. Last time I did that was Endgame, and that was really hard to keep my bladder, from exploding. That's why when it was over, I ran to the bathroom, took a piss, and then went home because it's long. The I just saw Ant Man and Wasp. I loved every second of that movie. Yeah, I was having fun from the moment we saw the flashback with Michelle Pfeiffer with those creatures. I'm like, this is going to be awesome. And then we saw Paul Rudd walking down the street with the Welcome to Back Cotters music. I'm like, I know what movie I'm getting. I'm not getting a melodrama on the CW. I'm getting a fun sci-fi spectacle with great effects. Yes, great effects. So the Academy, if you do not give this movie an Oscar for the effects, you can kiss my ass because these are some of the best effects in Phase 5 so far. And it's absolutely amazing. Like, I felt like I was in another world. I wasn't like, oh, great, a CGI world. I've seen that in Thor Love and Thunder, Ragnarok, etc. No, it looks great. I mean, I felt like I was watching a Star Wars movie. We haven't gotten one of those in a while. Mandalorian, I loved the episode this past yesterday. It was fantastic. Great effects, great action, great storytelling. And how long was it? 32 minutes, not 2.5 hours. See, you can do it. You don't have to drag a running time, guys, even on streaming. A stream show does not need to be 2.5 hours. WandaVision never got that long. It was like 30 or 40 minutes long each episode. Because you're wasting people's time, and time is not something I want to waste. Next Sunday, we have to push the clocks forward, guys. So remember that. On March 12th, there's daylight savings time starts, so we're gonna lose an hour. 2 a.m. It'll be 3 a.m. instead. Because winter was long enough, and then daylight savings time ended in winter in the fall last year. But that's when we gained an hour. Now we're losing an hour. The movie's almost over, guys. Yeah, I know I say that a lot, but this is the end of the first part. Next part will be tomorrow. The the what's it called? The quest for the Akatan's tomb, something like that. I wish the titles were a little easier. She's wearing boots. At least got some new people on the chat, like MCU fan. I didn't see him in the month of January or December. Yeah, it's something different. I like to do different podcasts for different movies, different genres, running times, different actors. So I'm not seeing the same actors for. Hey, Electric Dino, what's up? Convention. I love going to conventions. There's going to be two Comic Cons in New York this year. Well, three. There's one. There's going to be one this month, but it's in Manhattan, and I can wait. I'm saying the Brooklyn Comic Con is going to be here in June. It's 2 days, and then you have the New York Comic Con, which is in October, which I can't wait for. Can't wait to see who's going to show up because we're in. It's March, so we're only about 7 months. Yep. Well, I like going to things alone. Then nobody can tell me what to do. He's, he has a really good personality, Tariq. Because for an Arabic guy, he's not so serious. He has a sense of humor. Those mountains are huge. Yeah. That guy does not look Arabic. He looks white with a beard. Oh, yeah. Drinking water in a really hot place like Syria or Lebanon or something like that. Trust me, that feels like yeah, he wants to bathe in it. Yeah, I know. Trust me, in New York City, it gets very hot. When it's like 98 degrees, my skin feels like it's melting. You ever felt that, Josh? That when you're out in the hot sun, that your skin just feeling like real feels really warm. And the movie's quiet mostly. It doesn't get too crazy. Like with the Mummy films and especially the one with Tom Cruise is just very noisy. What are they eating? What is that? At least they're not eating monkey brains or something like that, like in Temple of Doom. That scene didn't bother me as a kid because I saw the movie when I was young and it didn't bother me. It was a PG movie, that's why. Even though back then that was a really strong PG. Now PG-13 is taking over because most of the biggest, highest grossing movies are PG-13. Is that a chili pepper or Ghost pepper or something? Yeah, I don't eat those. They're very dangerous. I'm not going to eat something that's going to put my tongue on fire. I had that feeling last year. I ate some buffalo wings and they were covered in this sauce that was burning my tongue. I'm like, oh my god, what's on this thing? Tabasco sauce and hot sauce is horrible. I like barbecue sauce and ketchup, but I can't stand hot sauce. I can eat salsa, on chips or something like that, but or on a taco, but I just don't like hot stuff. It burns my tongue. It raises my blood pressure. I can drink hot coffee, tea, or hot chocolate or something like that, but I don't like hot foods, really hot, spicy foods. And I mean, hmm hmm I do. Mm-hmm. Nice, subtle music. You kids. hmm But hyenas live in Africa. I think Syria is in Africa, right? Yeah, it is. I think it is. Yeah. hmm It's 11 o'clock now, so yeah, the movie's almost over, and it didn't feel that long. It went by quick. If I saw all three parts, it would take me hours to finish. But I don't do podcasts over 4 hours long. The YouTube algorithm will go way down. That's why I keep my streams at an hour or 2 hours at the most. That's a good shot. This giant snake is at the end of the movie. This giant cobra. hmm Yeah, he was. Because if Ant Man was terrible, it would have made like 50 million in opening weekend and then flop. But no, people still are invested in the little engine that could, the little Avenger that could with Scott Lang. Those movies, the first two movies were not exactly billion-dollar hits. Combined worldwide, yeah, maybe, but not domestically. But they did enough. They're still way more of a triumph for us than freaking movies like Eternals. That movie almost broke me. It almost ruined the MCU for me forever, but it did not. It could not take me down for long. Yeah, it's good. See, not all Arabs are going to blow up a building, guys. That's a stereotype. Because if I met Shannon Elizabeth, I heard she's very very friendly. She could sign my Tomcats DVD or American Reunion or something because she's just beautiful, man. I treat these women no matter what their age is. I treat them like queens when I go to these conventions or meet them in person. Because I met Olivia Wilde in a Q&A for her Booksmart directorial debut at a library, and I'll never forget it. Real horses, guys, not CG. Mm-hmm. Dun, 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 dun. Here we go. The third act of this first chapter of this story. So we still got 2 more films. Now they're heading east, I believe, right? Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, they're heading east this way. Because I wanted to do a podcast for a movie that was lenient. It was, really, really short, not something 2.5 hours. Because with 2012, I did that because my parents were watching. My family was watching Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, and I'm like, yeah, it's way too long. I got to do the first Black Panther. I missed it for February, but I'll have the rest of the year to do it. There's other holidays too, like Juneteenth or whatever. They made that. Because the only actor I think who was horrible in this movie is the villain because he doesn't emote. He just has the same tone for the whole freaking movie. He doesn't have any inflections. He's not a mustache twirler, but he doesn't have enough personality to be one. It's definitely no Jeremy Irons in um Die Hard with a Vengeance. He had way more personality than this guy. Mm-hmm. On foot, that's good for the environment. They have to walk. Mm-hmm. Yeah, let little some sleep. It'll help him grow faster because he hasn't even had a growth spurt yet. He never even appears on camera most of the time when he does his YouTube videos. At least I show my face. I got nothing to hide. Had to hide my face with a face mask for the past 3 years. I think I like showing my face. You think there's a cave? Of course, there's a cave. Yep, there's a cave. If you're gonna have a third act of an action adventure movie, you got better have a cave or some kind of like catacombs or something. Well, the third act of Uncharted had they were on like a pirate ship or something like that. Even though that was not in the games, but it was fun for what it was. I laughed. It gave me something. I wasn't bored out of my mind like Eternals or even The Mummy with Tom Cruise, where It tried to be it couldn't be just a Mummy remake. It had to be a cinematic universe builder, and you don't need to do that, guys. Let your movie be self-contained before you think of adding more to the fuel to the fire. The reason why the MCU worked and some of the DC movies worked is because some of them are self-contained stories. Build your own world first before you're going to build a cinematic universe. You know, the world was not built in one day. Just saying. You know, everything in the world. It took many, many days. It's a decent film. It's a CG that at the end that kind of just throws me off a little bit. I'm like, wow, that looks terrible. But again, TV budget. It's like Monster High. I like the film, but some of the CG was a little wonky. Hopefully, they won't use as much in the second film. I'm fine with the costumes and the makeup and the musical numbers being in front of the camera, not a digital effect. There's the CGI black scorpions. Those look okay. It's not that bother me. They couldn't put spiders. God, that'd be ripping off. It's the other CG that looks way worse because these are just. No, it's not, Jack. There's still a snake. Those are scary, but when they're real, the scorpions. No, slime. Mm-hmm. She's on top. Mm-hmm. You have a cobra. Yeah. He's Bray Wyatt now. Yeah, when girls do this with their lips, it drives me crazy when they use their lips like, or when it's expression, in their mouth. I mean, Amanda Peet has the sexiest lips I've ever seen, guys. I know people say Angelina Jolie, and she does have some hot lips, but with Amanda Peet, she just does this thing with her lips, where her lips are doing the acting for her sometimes, and I'm just like, oh my god, you are so yummy. Yep, there it is. The walls are caving in, yeah, like Temple of Doom. This is like an escape room. Better than that stupid escape room movie, I'll say that. That's why I skipped the sequel, Josh, because I refused to watch it because the first one was so bad. Oh, that was close. It is like an escape room. Those are fun when you can do them right. Mm-hmm. Hey, look, it's the Thuggies from Temple of Doom. Except this is a lot shorter. Boom, 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 boom. Yep, we got about 15 minutes left or so until the next chapter will be tomorrow. Look, a guy with a face mask. They're like a cult. But this isn't as weird as Hereditary, where, oh, the whole movie was a cult film the whole time. Like Midsummer? Really? There's subtitles, but not a lot. It's not like the whole movie. There's a pendant. I gotta log some movies later after I take a shower. Here comes this thing. Hmm. The light is a nice touch, but man, the CG just looks really wonky. Hmm. See, there's a scepter there. There's the beam. The beam looks fine. It looks like the scepter from Little Nemo, the Adventures in Slumberland. Hmm. Yep, they got her. They got caught. He's a descendant of the Ugarit people. He's a descendant? Yeah, no, no freaking kidding. An Arabic man in Syria is a descendant of an Ugarit. Of course he is. The plot's not that convoluted either. It's a lot easier to understand if you've seen Indiana Jones or The Mummy or whatever. or the National Treasure movies. Just the National Treasure movie was just too long. Like both of them are too long. I enjoy the first one. I think the film is okay. It's aged a little bit better than the second one. The second one I couldn't. I was so bored. They want to do a third one, but who knows? Because the National Treasure show did nothing for me. I saw the pilot and I was so bored. Dun, dun. The podcast tomorrow could do a little bit later because you missed. Hmm. Yep, Super Punch. Mm. Yep, and they killed him. Of course, they killed him. He's an old man. The best movie is the first one. I do like the two sequels. Tomb and Star of Heaven. I do like those two, but I think this is the best one of the three. There's some flaws though. Like I said, the third act CG at the end, it just looks really, really dated. Not even the scorpions. No, they're only on screen a few seconds, but it's like those CGI uh, bugs in the Mummy from '99. What are they called? Uh, uh, I forgot what they were called. Not echidnas. What are they called? Geez, she's trying to fight back. Yep, eat sand. What are they called? Like a succubus or something like that? Let me see what those things are. Excuse me, any scarab beetles. Scarab beetles. I hope the new Indiana Jones movie won't have too many subtitles and forced comedy. No, I think it's going to be fine. To end the Harrison Ford's tenure with this, because he's already too old to play Han Solo and Indiana Jones, I'm like, just end it on a high note, guys. I'm not expecting the first movie. I'm not even expecting Last Crusade or even Temple of Doom. I just want it to be fun, like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was. Just use less CG and just do it well, and I'll be fine. I am not expecting the world out of it, guys. What I'm expecting the world out of is the Flash, since I've been waiting so long for that. There have been other Indiana Jones knockoffs after Kingdom of the Crystal Skull came out. Another Alan Quartermain movie, Uncharted, National Treasure 2, or the TV show. Yeah. Yep. Unibeam. See, that looks all right when they get vaporized. It's like when Kang kills people with his blasters. That looks fine. But some of the CG here, yeah, this looks terrible. Look, when the thing's cracking, you could tell it looks like the Asylum a little bit. And this is not an Asylum movie. It's not. Trust me, it's not. Yeah, that looks so dated. Again, I can't blame them too much. It's a TV movie. This did not have a budget of $100 million. What were you saying, Jack? Yep, he doesn't have a whip, so he uses chain. Yeah, that's right. Punch him right in the face. See, that thing falling looked all right because Raiders had no CGI in it. When they had the that giant boulder and the things falling, it was practical. That was well done on camera. They used miniatures and things, but they used real things that were on camera. They didn't use CG until the fourth movie. Yeah, he didn't die, of course, because they're saving for the last two films. Is this snake even in the movie? I don't even think it is. Maybe it's just a decoration. Because he was on the horse, but I don't know if there was a giant snake in this. Forgot. It's been a while. That's right, run. I don't think there is a giant snake, so that cover lied. There's no snake in this movie. There were horses. Because like I said, with Indiana Jones, I just want to hear that music. I want some thrills. I want to laugh, and I want to see Harrison Ford be badass. Yeah, there was no snake, so I was wrong. But the crumbling looked bad. Like that CG looked really really dated. Yeah, good thing you did. No, he escaped for the next two films. Oh no, we let him escape. Well, we'll see you in the next film. Liz is kind of underused in the movie, but she's not the main girl. This girl, Nadia, is the main girl. Let me just put the arrow down here. I'm going to end this in a few minutes. So her eye. And that was the movie, an hour and 35 minutes of the first chapter of this three-part miniseries. That's that. Don't have to see the end credits. There's no post-credit scene. So that was Jack Hunter, the first one, and the Lost Treasure of Ugarit. So no, there is no snake on the front. So that was a lie. But just so people could buy the movie. But it still has, a lot of charm, personality, likable characters, and a short running time. Nowadays, I wish that we could have that. Not for everything, but most films, because some films are just too long. Babylon being 3 hours and Way of Water being that long. Yeah, I'm like, some films just need to be much shorter. So thanks for watching, guys. The few of you that did watch, take care. And the next part will be tomorrow. The quest for the Akhenaten's or Akhenaten's tomb. See you then. End.